When you can't support somebody, but they're your boss, there's a way to get around that. It's called double speak. That's coming up next on Coffee with Vic. Well, welcome to Coffee with Vic. I'm your host, Vic Vogel. Today, it's hardly a wonder how all of the people who normally might take a different approach to things have to dance around Donald Trump, our President of the United States. And so, what I thought I'd do is just take a look at some interviews that were done on Face the Nation this morning. Let me begin first by taking from Merriam-Webster the definition of double talk or double speak would be another way to say it. First, it's language that appears to be earnest and meaningful, but in fact is a mixture of sense and nonsense. Secondly, it's language used that is inflated, involved, and often deliberately ambiguous language, something along the lines of not answering the question but having to say something. So let's listen to an interview with Mike Pompeo and Margret Brennan from Face the Nation.
Told an interviewer on ABC earlier this week that he would first listen to a foreign government if they tried to offer him dirt on an opponent and then make a decision as to whether or not to inform the FBI. As the former CIA director, someone who talks every day to foreign governments, what would you advise the president to do?
President Trump clarified his remarks. I think it's pretty clear he'll do the right thing. I'm highly confident of that. I don't have anything else to add. I saw his remarks. He said, I think in both instances, he said he'd do both. He said he'd report this to the FBI. Look, it's you all present this as...
He uses the word maybe.
Yeah, I listened to this very closely. The president made very clear he's going to do the right thing. I have enormous confidence in that. I've watched him do it.
Call the FBI.
I've watched him do the right thing every time we've had an important national security decision to be made. He's evaluated options and made very good choices about how to proceed.
So there you see in that situation where Mike Pompeo actually just refused to answer the question when answered directly, whether or not he should report it. Let's be clear about one thing. Everybody outside of the president's staff, including actually people who are on his staff who are in the intelligence community and the FBI, are very clear that if a foreign country brings to you information related to interfering with our election, you should not listen to it. You should take the idea that they tried to present it to you straight to the FBI. Now let's listen to Tom Cotton, a senator, with his response to President Trump's statement. And in the end, you are going to see he tries to change the subject a couple of times, but when presented with a binary question directly to him that he cannot get out of, he presents his actual point of view.
I want to ask you as well about what the president said this week. He said he would listen, as you heard in that ABC interview, to foreign countries who might have dirt on his opponents before deciding whether or not to report it to the FBI. Doesn't this undermine all of the efforts to make our elections secure when you have the president of the United States say something like that?
No, Margaret. He said as well, not just on ABC, but especially on Fox and Friends later in the week, that he would, in fact, report those kind of contacts to the FBI. That's a very different thing, too, than what happened in 2016.
Right, but that's why it's relevant now, and so, what we're talking about now in terms of negative signals.
And the president said that he would report that to the FBI, and remember, that's just simply receiving information in a hypothetical. What happened in 2016 is Hillary Clinton hired a foreign spy who then recruited, let me finish, who then recruited Russian spies to fabricate lies about her political opponents that was then used to generate a law enforcement investigation into the administration's political opponents.
So you're okay with what the president said?
The president said that he would report those kind of contacts to the FBI.
He said maybe. He said maybe. I'm asking you. I ask you
the
the same
president said he would, as
maybe
anyone should. And what people should not do is what Hillary Clinton and the Democrats did, which is hire a foreign spy to recruit Russian spies to fabricate lies about their political opponents.
Is Tom Cotton's answer to the question maybe when it comes to offering you and your campaign dirt?
I would report those kind of contacts to the FBI.
So there you have two really good examples of double talk or double speak, and this happens constantly with just about every Republican Party representative or White House staffer to try to cover a president's tracks who obviously does not know right from wrong and frankly really doesn't care about this country. I'm Vic Vogel. This is Coffee with Vic, and this is News Tidbits.